Music off, voices on. This is a cappella podcast.
Again, like people were commenting. I was looking at before you came out. I'm looking at the comments, right? And people were saying like, treat it like a business. Treat the whole thing like a business. And like I just tell people from experience, like just make sure that you have all your paperwork and all your shit, correct. And make sure, the other thing, man, before I forget, because I thought about it earlier, like, is life insurance. Get life insurance. You don't have to wait for a pandemic to get life insurance to take care of you. Because something happens to you, and you don't want to, you don't want your family to struggle. You don't your family to go start opening up fucking GoFundMe's just to bury your ass. Maybe that they don't, you don't even have to get a large policy, man. Just something to cover your burial, cover your shit. People need to really doing a self-assessment after this, man. Like it's a learning moment. So just take this moment to learn and to educate yourself, But all right, so here's the other question, because a lot of people were asking this in the comments, right? Now they were saying, okay, we're gonna, okay, with the DJs, you have this great idea to put that out there. Now, what do you say to like people like okay, we touched on sound. What do you say to people like, say, like bouncers? Like in that, like now you don't need bouncers, because now if you're doing this virtual party, who is the dancer going to control?
Listen, again, when I was talking about the artists, I was also looking at if I do a pay-per-view event, all right, and this turns out to be a whole different level of income, a lot of people are going to start adapting to new norms. It ain't no different than when cell phones came out, kind of wiped out the industry of payphone. It's still communications. New things come up, and listen, this was forced on us. Nobody was forced to think outside the box until this past month. So everybody has to start adapting to new things, man. If you're a bouncer, you got to start, evaluating what you're going to do with your lives, at least for the time being. Listen, if you're a bouncer at a club, there's no reason why you couldn't be a bouncer at a supermarket. You couldn't be a bouncer at a security firm for a bank or something. You just got to think outside the box,
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is that these new norms are also going to force listen, they want social distancing. They don't want anybody cramped up at one time. One thing that I was reading earlier, you see, so I'm always thinking outside the box and how we're going to bounce back as strong as possible. One of the things that I was looking at, if owners, if all the bar owners, and I'm sure that in the state of New Jersey there's an association for bar owners, we pay in sales tax, we pay pretty much high numbers. We don't get the 3% like a lot of these clothing stores and all those people get. We might have to get forced to go down to Trenton and see if the government willing to work with us on sales tax.
Yeah.
Maybe dropping it down to 4%. Because you see, if we were able to open that 3% in sales tax that everybody's saving, that could be money that could be using to bounce back.
Yeah.
So we need to start reaching out. And this is, remember, we're thinking about a lot of shit that we do within ourselves as owners and bartenders and everything else. But we also got to start reaching out, like the payroll tax that they're trying to stop. That's something that will definitely benefit a lot of business owners when you actually pay taxes.
Right, correct.
When you pay taxes, you know how important it is to save in every corner. But you got property taxes that they need, for like let's say over at Barcode. If we're not open complete, it's very difficult for a person that's not making no money to pay what the city wants to collect in taxes. We as property owners or as business owners that are a tenant of a property that's, let's say, 'cause it doesn't have to be me because a lot of people, when you do commercial leases, a lot of people are triple net. So for you people that don't know what triple net is, you as a tenant, you're responsible for everything. You're responsible for property taxes, you're responsible for the insurance, and you're responsible pretty much for everything.
Yeah.
So we the owners of our bars need to sit down with these property owners, and we should put pressure on local government so they could reduce property taxes, at least for these venues, until this whole restriction is taken out. And it's only but fair because, do your math. Yeah, they still want their money, but they're chopping you by 50%.
Yeah.
Well, when your income is not there, you didn't open up a bar for 100 people to expect to only make money with 50. So everybody has to work together at least until this whole thing blows over. Like, put a 24-month period that they're gonna drop the property taxes and sales tax by a certain percentage. Another thing that I encourage, putting pressure on your local government, because in the state of New Jersey, so you people know, one thing I do, I know that fucking ABC book like the back of my hand. In the state of New Jersey,
ABC, everybody, in case you don't know, is the people that regulate the liquor licenses and all that stuff.
Alcohol Beverage Control Board.
Yeah.
Or the control, which is the state, and then you have local, which is the city. So the state does not have a closing time. When people say, oh, in Jersey they close too early, you know why they close early? Because the local government is not letting you open later. But if you put pressure on to local government, what do I mean? Not putting pressure like, hey, we need you to do it. Like, listen, guys, everybody went back to normal. It's taking us 5 months and we're already in the red. Well, if they allow you to extend your hours to the New York hours, the 4, the 5 now are going to stay local. And if you give people an experience staying local and obviously we're going to be better, we're going to be cheaper than New York. We're going to have, if you put barcodes side by side to a New York club, we pretty much wipe out New York. But one thing that we don't have in our favor is the closing time.
It's the closing time.
So if we're able to extend it to 4 or 5 in the morning, those 2 hours, even if we're at 50% occupancy, we could make up the difference with those extra hours.
Yeah, and I think also, I think as time goes by, with the hours, you will build confidence, right? You will build confidence in people. Like, okay, and if the infections are still down and everything, people will just gain confidence and start to go out. Because I think the first couple of weeks when this shit opens back up, people are gonna be like, all right, let me just sit back and look and see what is gonna be the impact, right? I see a couple of questions here that people are asking. They're like, are you gonna continue to pay Camilo the same amount of money, or is he gonna have to come down in price?
Look,
like
you know what?
I had to ask.
Look, I'm gonna tell you how I look at it.
Don't get diplomatic, my nigga. Give us the.
I say how it is. Listen, I'm about to tell you this little one thing I'm gonna tell you something that I always say to everybody, and that everybody needs to understand. Nothing's expensive when you're making money, but when you're not making money, every penny counts.
Word.
So
Fact.
let's say there is that scenario. Everybody wants to use Camilo as an example.
Yeah,
like,
Camilo's like, what Camilo is. He's like an index stock. He kind of like not dictates what the market is, but Camilo has he's a good indicator of nightlife, right? Let's just say he's a good indicator.
Listen, Camilo, he has learned how to get people to love him, DJs to love him, and
it's an amazing guy.
Listen, that's my boy. Like, to me, that's hands down. But going back to the question of Camilo, the first thing, I'm gonna have this conversation with everybody.
Yeah,
like when I go back, I'm gonna put people on scales. That's gonna define what you're gonna get paid. You want to take a chance with me? Cool. You could get paid this much if we have this much people.
Correct.
But if we only have this much, this is going to be your fee. The good thing about everything at Barcode and all the places that I run, everything is computerized. You can't bullshit me like, oh, but we only have this much people, because the clicker says that. I don't work with clickers. Every time we scan somebody in, every time we check somebody in, if we got like the fucking airports, like the train shit with the turnstiles, we account for everyone. So it ain't no different when you have a contract with performing artists. I know I did this shit with an artist not too long ago. Listen, this is what you're gonna get paid. Actually, it was Evie Queen. Oh, but everybody's been waiting for her. Okay, cool. You have that confidence in her? I'll give you that. If she brings in 1,200 people, this is gonna be her pay. But if she don't bring 1,200 people, this is gonna be her pay. And they gambled it because they believed in themselves. Now, a lot of artists and DJs, they're gonna have to start getting ready for that new way.
Yeah.
Every DJ's talking about, like, everybody's worried about, oh, is Camilo still gonna make more money? Listen, Camilo brands himself. The guy goes live and he does 2,000-3,000 people because people love him.
And he's a businessman. Camilo, let me tell you something about Camilo. Camilo would adjust to whatever speed the highway is going.
Exactly.
It's like and again, even at his level, Camilo will adapt. Like, and again, like, we're just using that as an example because the question was coming up over here a lot. Like, he will, and I know this from experience, he will move with the speed of the highway. Like,
yeah,
the highway is going 20 miles per hour. Fuck it, let's go 20 miles. Like, he's not gonna go 100. Like, he is the guy. So,
but you know what, man? Like, that, Camilo's a very smart guy. You got to give him a lot of credit for what he does. But the Camilos, everybody. I don't want to mention them.
Yeah.
Here mentioning it. Everybody's gonna have to adapt. Everybody's gonna have to adapt if they want to work.
Yeah.
Unless they come up with a magic wand and all of a sudden they figure out another way how to make that same money, then that more power to you, man. Like, I respect that. Like, if you make that money somewhere else, go ahead, man, rock out. And that's not just for Camilo. That's gonna be for everybody across the board.
All right, so let's talk one subject that's very important to me: the hookahs.
Hookahs.
What do you think about them?
Disgusting. You know why? You know why it's gonna be disgusting? I started doing this shit a long time ago, and I'm gonna bring out hookahs, and I'll talk about bottle buckets. I'm gonna talk about all that shit. Look, obviously this virus is being spread out because of the droplets in the air and all this shit. You know what's also, what also doing? Every time you're pulling a hookah and you give that hose to somebody else, even though you have a tip, when you're pushing air out to clear out the hookah, you're also putting out your viruses. If you have any infection or whatever, you're putting that in there. I personally think that what I would probably do now is drop my prices in hookahs so everybody gets their own. And that will, this way, and number them. Like, because you know what it is? Sometimes you got 4 hookahs and you don't know which one is yours.
Yeah.
So we're going to number them. We're going to put, like, this is going to be hookah 1, 2, and 3. And then, listen, Frikkiao, hookah number 1 is yours, bro. And the good thing about it is, like, all the hoses, we use disposable ones. So once you buy your hookah and you're done, we throw it out. A lot of motherfuckers are disgusting. I've seen guys use disposable hookahs as your regular fucking hoses. And they put fucking water through it, and they use that disposable hookah over and over again, so it fucking just breaks down. That's disgusting. Listen, if you're charging $25, $30 for a hookah, that hose is less than $1. Start being nasty, swap it out.
Yeah.
One thing that we're gonna put in place.
One hookah per head.
One thing we're gonna put in place also, we're gonna steam our hookahs. So when we're preparing them, we're gonna steam them, and we're gonna use stuff that they to disinfect every single one after every single use.
Yo,
you have to.
Let me ask you another question, which is really unrelated to nightlife. It's kind of like, but it's hospitality related. Airbnb, right? What do you think is gonna? Because I was reading an article the other day about Airbnb, and Airbnb got a loan for $1 billion from an investment company, to kind of bail them out, for the time being. So they're banking that they're gonna come back. Do you think those Airbnb rentals people are going to be comfortable renting out their places now to people that are coming in? Like, it's just a question. I just want to pick your brain on that.
I don't have property in Airbnb, but one thing that I do say is what's going to play a role is people being able to do research on you as the owner of that property and how you're sanitizing it. Like, for an example, like you might expect, if I was the owner of that brand, while everybody's going back to comfort, what I would do is I would set up, inspectors per locations and send them out just to start seeing and rate them. Like, we went into this person's house, we gave them a 2-star because this shit was nasty, or
Yeah.
1-star, and let people, listen, they're no different when you're going to go to a restaurant, when you're going to go to a movie. You want to see the reviews. You want to be able to start. They might want to implement reviews on how they sanitize, because you could go into a house that looks beautiful, clean, and it's just nasty as shit. If you go in with a fucking black light and you start looking at it, that shit is nasty.
No.
Listen, when you go to a hotel,
I'm seeing these comments like Wilson, like, no, nigga, I don't got no fucking Airbnb rentals. I got permanent tenants, nigga. Stop it. I'm just interested in overall how the business, of Airbnb. Driver behind my question. Like, I enjoy traveling and I stay in a lot of Airbnb. Shit, I stayed in hostels. Like, and then now, like, I'm like, fuck, if I go traveling again, like, would I stay in one of these? Like, would I want to go into it? Anyway.
Listen, but one thing you got to realize too, like, everybody's on that clean shit right now because of what's happening. Yeah. Eventually, all that shit's gonna go back to normal. Listen, when I was growing up, I was drinking water from the fucking fire hydrant. I was playing soccer, and we bought a pie of pizza. Everybody's putting their hands in and just eating their own shit. So, is that gonna happen at one point? I believe so. That's gonna go. All that shit's gonna go back to normal.
Yeah.
Listen, it took 100 years for something like that similar to happen again, and behaviors are gonna change. Everything's gonna change. But going a little step further from the hookahs. Analyze this. You go to a club. You go to the bathroom. I see people walking out of the bathroom without washing their hands.
Dang.
And then on the way out, they're shaking everybody's hands. And then on top of that, the fucking bottle girl. Man. No, the bottle girl, plus the person that delivers the bottle, you don't know where they've been before. You don't know where their hands have been. You don't know where they have touching. So they give you a bucket of ice, with your Red Bulls, your bottle, and they just put everything there. Like, okay, your Red Bulls are getting cooled down, right?
Yeah.
Then you make yourself a drink with the same fucking ice that bottle is sitting in, that you don't know whether people had their hands in, or your boy that just came back from the bathroom, he wants to make himself a drink. He wants to put his hand in the ice and that's nasty.
That's fucking crazy.
I believe every club owner, everybody should be giving people two separate sets of buckets. One for clean ice, and there should be like a lid over it, and the one that you cool down your shit with. But these norms, whether it's going on right now, this should have been adapted a long time ago. Like when I'm in my club and my bottle girl wants to go, and I order a bottle of Buchanan's or whatever, I tell her, do not put my bottle on the fucking ice. And the moment you do, go give me another bucket of ice. I don't want you touching my ice, because we don't know where people have been. We don't know where they have touched. And listen, as careful as you could be, you could always get sick. So, you never know, man.
Yeah, like see, the other thing is, like, now, do you see opportunity? Like, do you see opportunity here? Like, and now clubs gonna be closing down. Do you, as a business owner, see opportunity as, like, in another club?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, this tsunami is not for everybody. Like, if you got your money right, you got your credit right, you got a few $100,000 in the bank, and you got equity, this is going to be the opportunity for everybody to bank on this. Now, I'm not going to say I'm happy to take over a bar of a guy who went out of business. I don't look at it like that. You listen, when I get offered opportunities to get involved in venues, I could go and grab them shit by myself and open them. What I do is I usually keep the person that was the original owner. I restructure the business, and I keep them on as a partner. And now they're making money that they never thought they're gonna make.
Yeah.
So, am I seeing that there's gonna be a bunch of bars going out of business and more opportunities for me? Of course they're gonna be. But you know what? I don't bank on people's failures. Like, I once almost lost everything. and it wasn't too long ago. So the fact that I was blessed to come back and come back strong, I don't wish that upon anybody. You know, like I if I could see somebody going through a hard time, I might go in there, restructure your whole business, but I'm going to teach you how to make money. Listen, let's go back to the facts. And I hope there's a bunch of bartenders and a bunch of bottle girls in here, because you know what? You guys are the poison to this business. And I'm going to use, and listen, I'm talking to you, and that, Frikkiao, I love you as a brother, but there's a lot of promoters out there that they're also the poison to the business.
Yeah.
Because everybody,
I don't put myself in that category, but yeah.
No, but again, there's a difference. Listen, there's promoters that bring things to the table, and there's motherfuckers that just want to collect and they want to smoke hookah and drink bottles for free. But this industry, most of the people that I get told, listen, Eddie, we got this venue, we got that venue, and I start going back and I start doing the numbers and I start looking at what was the reason why that shit failed. Bad management, number one. Yeah. Bartenders giving away drinks like it was nothing. When a bartender walks out with $800-900 in tips, and they only sold $1,000, how the fuck you gonna make 80% in tips, and then their excuse, oh, I got a big tipper? No, you created a big tipper because you gave them away free drinks. So somebody comes and gives you $50 and you give it, and that person's tab at the end of the night is $20-30. You're a piece of shit, because you're the reason why these people are actually starting to feel the pain. Don't get me wrong. That's how I've actually made more money, because when you guys fuck on those owners, that's how I end up with those places. But I don't wish that upon anybody, because you know what? At one point, I was that one guy blinded, believing in my staff, and and when you're an owner and they're fucking you over, all the bartenders, they want to be your friends, and then you'll be like, nah, but this person would never do that to me. Guess what? They all gonna fuck you over. Yeah. So you know what? If you're not getting your clubs ready and you're not preparing yourself with liquor controls, listen, at Barcode, I know everything that's going on. And even like that, there's always a snake here and there, and we catch them. Yeah. Giving away a free drink, or opening up the spouts from the liquor control system, or saying, oh, the drink never came out. Listen, that shit always happens. Yeah, but you know what? You minimize it. Yeah, look, I sympathize with promoters when these commentaries are said or whatever, because I came from that world, right? So but at the same time, I also see a lot of fucking clowns in that business. Oh, of course. And you know what? And those clowns are the ones that make the whole industry of promoters look bad. Right. Listen, there's a bunch of promoters that I say, you know what? I give you respect, because when there's a party, they'll come in early, they'll set up, they'll help decorate the place. They start, they come into the office, they brainstorm, they'll sit down and say, yo, what are we gonna do different for next week? What's gonna be the theme? You know what? You gotta respect that. Yeah. But you think it's right to, and then you have a fight with an owner, and then everybody's like, oh, party moved over here. Listen, guys, they do fucking flyers with the buses on them. Fuck them. Let me tell you something. I have put my whole life on the line behind Barcode. I built that motherfucker with my own hands. My son, whenever I had free time that I couldn't go visit him, he will come to Barcode and he will help me clean. My little baby, he was back then, 3-4 years old? He was there helping me out. My girlfriend was there helping me out. So you know what? When a promoter comes in and say, oh, this is my party. No, a promoter is just as good as the venue you're in. Yeah. If the venue that you're throwing a party in is not dope, you might get people to come out and support you once. Yep. But the club has got to be profitable, people, because if the club is not profitable, you know what? And I say this because I've seen it over and over again. It happened to me with so many different promoters. Oh, the club is, is not hot no more. I want to go somewhere else because, that I don't, people are not coming to support me no more. You know what? You know why that's happening? Because that owner's not making money. So if I'm not making money, I cannot give you the new sofas, the new VIPs. I cannot give you the new fucking lights, because how the fuck am I going to pay for it? Yeah. So if I can't make money to pay for that, then you guys are the problem.
Yeah.
Because you guys come and say, "Oh, I throw the party. You take the door money. Took $10,000." Yeah, and then on top of that, most of these motherfuckers want a percentage from the bar.
Yeah.
How are you gonna ask for bar money and door money, not realizing that maybe that little bit of percentage from liquor that you were asking for and that door money, it's pretty much the whole net of the business. If you take away the net from the business, and you know why a lot of owners don't realize it? Because they be like, "Oh, we made this much money and they pay this bill and they pay that bill." Listen, if you're not paying your bills religiously, you see, if I order $30,000 in liquor by Friday, on Monday, the company's getting $30,000. A lot of owners are using the credit from the liquor companies. So they don't realize until it's too late how deep of a hole they dig for themselves. And then when there's no salvation, everybody walks away, and then, oh, the party just moved to this place. And then they go and milk that new owner again.
Now here's a counter argument, right? This is a counter argument. Promoters can say, well, you didn't prepare your club to be successful with the right things for me to sell it, right? Here's the like that could be the counter argument, right? Because you can have I've gotten phone calls to clubs and I go walk in, I'm like, you can't be fucking serious. Like you got tile in here from fucking 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, the counter argument could be like, because there's a certain expectation that the club owners have, right? Like, oh, you're a promoter, you're gonna bring me all these people. But remember, like, the people themselves go out, right? So like my follower or my customer goes out to a place like, I don't fucking know, like, you know, they go out to, you know, in New York, they go out to any Club Vaca, I don't know, in New York, right? They go out and they see the fancy lights, the fancy this, the fancy that. And then they come back to Jersey and see a club that looks like shit. And they're like, I know that better exists, right? So a promoter can say, yo, you didn't equip your club with the right sound, the right lighting, the right decor, the right everything, hence why I wasn't successful, right? That's the counter argument, right? Because, you know, they could say that. You know what I mean? Like, let's use the twist to that. Those are the owners that whether they have promoters or not, they're going to fade away. And those are the owners that didn't make money. Because when an owner has a venue, you see, I'm a person that I'm always changing. No matter, I could be the hottest club. And if I go to Vegas and I see a brand new fucking light or sound or whatever, I'm going to buy that motherfucker, even if I don't need it. I'm not going to wait to the end of my club to figure out what I'm going to do. Because at that point, it might just be too late. You see, and I'm going to tell you, it happened to me. When Coco Bongo, towards the last years of Coco Bongo, it declined. And then I said, you know what? Let me change it to club venue. And I did a little decoration here and there, and I changed it. Obviously, it was at the worst part of Coco Bongo, so I didn't have the money to spend the money that I really wanted to do, right? Yeah. So at that point, people didn't respond. So when people didn't respond, I had no choice but to go back to the old Coco Bongo, to the point where on a Saturday night, we only had 20 people in the club. And that's when I said, you know what? Why I was able to sustain it is because I had multiple incomes. But the best part about it is I already owned the building. So I was not forced to like, oh shit, how am I going to make rent money? Yeah. So you see? So a lot of owners make the biggest mistake is buying into these clubs, not managing them correctly, and allowing while you're hot for everybody to take your profits. And then when you open your eyes, now you have no money, and the place has already been there, done that. Yeah, it ran its course. You see, so everybody, but the word, listen, Barcode and Coco Bongo is the same location, 20 years, and it's still a hot club. What keeps the club hot is the fact that I'm always reinvesting into it. Like if I take this much money, I take this for improvements, for new technology, for new lighting or whatever, things that people would notice. Like, listen, no different. We just did that fucking pool. So if I wasn't profitable, I couldn't do that. But you know what's one thing I don't do? I don't give my club away. You know how many, on an average basis, yo, I'm a promoter, can I work with you? And no. What are you going to bring to the table now? I'll give you an off night, and if you can make it work, cool, we'll work together. I ain't going to give you my Saturday night. I ain't going to give you my Friday night. Because you know what happens? That happened to me at Bliss. at Bliss Wednesdays. They gave me the off night. They gave me the off night.
You see, you deserve your money. At that point, you deserve your money because now the owner is not relying on that money. That's extra money for them. You see, when I do day parties with a promoter and I'm closed during the daytime, that promoter brings me 1,000 people and he kept the door. That motherfucker's entitled to that. But no, the average promoter want to tag along to a night that's already established.
Yep.
And then they have a fallout. And then they start telling people, yo, I'm moving to club this and that.
Yeah.
Yo, like, that's fucked up. Yeah. I opened my doors for you. I gave you a platform. And now you're using my brand to say that you made it happen. Nah. That's why when people be like, yo, at Lobby and Lit, I let Terry do what he wants to do in those places. But when it comes to Barcode, nobody running my fucking house. Nobody. Yeah. I'm running my own house. Because you know what? That's the mothership. If Barcode, everything could fall to shit. If Barcode is doing fine, I could sustain every club, even at its worst. But if the mothership goes under, everything changes. So that's why I'm saying, owners need to listen, if you do not understand marketing, if you don't know how to build your clubs, if you don't know how to manage your own lighting, your own sound, and somehow have knowledge of the business, please don't get into this business. Unless you got a lot of money and all you want is pussy.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be the cool guy in the VIP, showing off that.
I've seen so many times.
And you know what? Those owners, they deserve to go out of business.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just sit back and say, that place is going to last this much. Bro, Frikkiao, you don't know how many times I've been to venues, and just by walking in and looking around for 10 minutes, I could already say, this place is only going to last this much. And you know what? Within months of that time, that shit goes out because of the bad operation. A lot of people, they have no business being in this business.
Do you think, because this is one thing that I've experienced too, like, do you think some club owners, I think you just said it actually. Do you think some club owners shouldn't be club owners? One, because, sometimes I've run into people like who own these clubs. I'm like, yo, my nigga, you just probably had an opportunity where you got a bunch of money and you try to put this shit out there. And all you want to do is fuck bitches and sit in a VIP and give you away your drinks and whatever. I'm like, yo, you just probably had an idea to put this together. Like, there are very few people who I look in this business who are passionate, who love what they do, who want to do a really great party. Like, there's a very handful of niggas that I really look in that box. It's like, so do you see, like, do you go into the club and you're like, yo, like you just said right now, you see this club owners like, yo, this motherfucker should not even be owning this shit. Because it's just like promoters. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I look at promoters, I'm like, this motherfucker, like, went into this club. And they go into nice clubs, right? I see promoters, yo, with fucking parties at amazing. I'm like, yo, I will fucking do a party in that club. And I see these promoters, and they go in there, and they fail because they think, the owners don't do the research and find out who. You are a sub-promoter. You go into another club, and you're like, oh, yeah, I did Bliss. No, you didn't, nigga. If you did Bliss, the nigga who you're telling that to should go find out who really did Bliss, or who really did Coco Bongo, or who fucking was promoting at 46 Lot, whatever the clubs were, you need to go find out. So it's the same thing with the club owners. Like, I look at club owners and I'm like, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. Like, you have no clue what the fuck you're doing. But, like I said, bro, this was a I just wanted to put this out because I think people have like this whole, misconception, and they have.
And let's talk about in general. There's a lot of motherfuckers that shouldn't be DJs. There's a lot of motherfuckers that shouldn't be promoters. There's a lot of people that just shouldn't be in the industry. All you're doing is you're hurting. Listen, if you hurt a venue, you're making the industry disappear little by little.
Yeah. And
you see, bro, back in the days, all the monster clubs that used to be in New York. Name me one monster club right now in New York.
They're all gone.
They're all gone. And you know why? Because majority of them, I'm gonna give you the whole reason. Bottle prices. Way too stupid in pricing. let's talk about this Miami concept, right? Like the Vegas concept. When you go in and you go to these clubs and you're buying $10,000 tables, a lot of these clubs are allowing. So the gimmick is this: you as a promoter, go get me 10 bitches or 10 dope females or whatever. I don't want to call girls bitches because that's the street talk. But shut up, Mike. But let's take 10. But let's take 10 dope girls, and we're gonna let you bring them in for free. Then the promoter sits in a section, drinks with all these 10 dope girls or 20 girls, so they could make the club look packed. Now, you got this corny guy that went on vacation with a few of his friends as a bachelor party or whatever. Oh, listen, the club is packed. We got this one table, but we got some people sitting there. If you want it, it's going to cost you $10,000. And then they go and start doing that. That right there is one of the reasons why a lot of these clubs, listen, and there was a club in Vegas that just shut down. They spent, I don't know how many millions of dollars. What the fuck is that club? I was actually there last year. It was probably going to be, what the name of that shit? Amazing fucking club with the pool and everything. And it went out of business within 6 months of it opening because they lined up Cardi B, paying them I don't know how much. When they on the talent, there was no way that club was going to sustain. And you know why? Because they went, the casino got all these investors to put up all this money, hundreds of millions of dollars. They put the shit together, and then they had a whole bunch of Vegas promoters running it. Perfect example, the dream club of anybody, out of business within 6 months. It was called Chaos.
Yeah, people are saying that in New York it was Bloomberg that shut down the whole nightclub shit, and he didn't want the clubs to be but I saw the business failing too early on. Like I used to love going to this club called Providence in the city. It's an amazing club. And that got shut down. And I always wonder, man, what the fuck happened?
Listen, if numbers are not being done correctly and you're not profitable, no matter where you're at, what part of the world, you're gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. Right now, everybody needs to start understanding that there's gonna be new norms, and they have to start getting creative. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. If you're not gonna set yourself up with the new norms and get your creativity on point, as the clubs are gonna disappear, restaurants like a motherfucker are gonna, because restaurants are worse. Imagine we sell a drink for $10, we're profiting $8.
Yeah.
A restaurant that's selling a plate of food for $20 is probably costing them, by the time they add the cost of the chef and everybody else in there and the cost of the food, they're only probably profiting only $3-4. Now, if one plate goes back, they just I don't like this. They just lost the profit on the next 5 other dishes they're gonna put out of that kitchen.
Yeah.
So restaurants are really gonna have a hard time sustaining this.
Man, this is insane, bro. Like, this is insane. But now, do you think that, like, now let's talk about concerts, right? Like, cause I'm really good friends with Alexis Peña, and me and him just always kick it all the time. Like, and he's running around with Lunay and a couple of other artists or whatever. So he's like, yo, like, I'm done, right? He goes, he also owns a club in Madrid, and he's like, yo, my club got closed. Like, what do you see for the future of concerts? Do you see the same thing, that whole VR? You see the whole thing with I think concerts is gonna be, for a while, it's gonna hurt.
Listen, the way we're having our conversations right now of how we're gonna make money while this shit is biting everybody in the ass, I'm sure every artist is gonna have to start figuring that out. And then if they don't, you're gonna start seeing a lot of artists giving up on their careers, because
damn, bro, damn,
it's true. If you are solely depending on you going out and performing, and that's out the door, how are you gonna eat?
Yeah. Damn.
That's gonna wipe themselves. That's why I said the pay-per-views, it might be the answer. But it might be the answer for the bigger artists. What about the B-list artists, or the ones that are just starting to pop off?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those people, they're gonna have to reconsider,
Yeah.
and that somebody has to come up right now with the perfect platform where, you know, somebody has to come up with the new pay-per-view for that platform, and that they're not going to abuse. Because listen, if somebody comes up with, let's say right now, pay-per-view, and they
Yeah.
do, let's say, a Romeo concert,
Yeah.
and they're going to say, oh, Romeo, we're only going to pay you this much, I wouldn't take that deal. Artists,
Yeah.
if you are out there, you got to take hand of your own career. You know what? Right now, anybody could buy the technology. You could create your own platform where,
Yeah.
when you're performing, this is gonna be the channel, and we're gonna pay the channel the right to use it, and it's only gonna be this much. You ain't gonna take a big piece of the pie, because you know what? An artist they perform in New York today, they perform in Chicago and all that stuff, and they move around. But when you're doing a live concert, you get that one shot to make your money.
Yeah. Like, do you think? I think Instagram. If Instagram Live was to be able to be monetized, and Instagram Live would give people kickbacks for how many people they have on, you know, I see that as an opportunity. Like, if you know,
but it's gonna be pennies. It's gonna be pennies. It's not gonna be like, it's not gonna be what people are expecting. Listen, if I was the owners of Instagram, the first thing I'll be doing right now, taking advantage of seeing how many people are going live, and create something within Instagram that now they could sell you the right to do a live concert.
Yeah.
That's what I would do right now.
Yeah.
If I was Instagram.
Yeah. Or even
Because
live DJing. Like, you want to see this DJ, you want the premium, blah blah blah. Cool. It's $5 to join. You know.
exactly. And it should be a platform that people are already comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's if you want it to work. Because let's say I create a platform and you have a platform. Now you're gonna have 10,000 platforms.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna do the same job. So now you're gonna have people with a whole bunch of different apps. Like a Ticketmaster should create that platform, or a Instagram or Facebook should create that platform.
Yeah.
And sell it. Listen, we're gonna keep $1 for every subscription. You got Romeo performing. It's $100 to see him live, such and such date. Well, you got 1 million people at $1 a person. You just made $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true, man. It's true, man. But you know, again, like, I think now it's gonna be a really, there's really changing times, and it's gonna be very interesting. So, but look, listen, bro, I gotta run. I got another live at 10 o'clock with Raul Acosta. You remember Raul Acosta, Oro Solido?
Of course I do.
Yeah, I got a live with him, so he's gonna kind of weigh in on his opinion on this whole shit. But this was great, man. I think this was beautiful. I think you provided a lot of insight. I think a lot of people look to you as a benchmark. That,
listen, and a lot of people, and guys, you know, and I know a lot of people probably are offended, or because that's, you know, I just touch a piece of what you do in the industry, guys. I'm an owner. I'm a DJ. I'm a promoter. I thought you said you weren't an owner. What happened? What I mean, you know, I stand in the side. Okay, I manage the businesses, so I could wear many hats. And if you guys are only wearing one hat, you got to sometimes put yourself in other people's shoes, and you also have to step back for a minute and say, you know what, this business went under. Let's look at why it went under. Sometimes owners play a big role, but sometimes it's not just the owner. It's the bad management. It's the you know, the bartenders giving away shit, or promoters, you know, not doing their job and still going there and collecting money and not helping the venue grow. Listen, it all comes down to, if you guys want to survive in this industry, you guys got to start thinking how you're going to make shit happen, and start thinking outside the box and helping each other out as a group. Because if not, you know what? Yeah, you could be a dope DJ. You're going to be a dope DJ forever on live, because you're not going to have no venue to play in. And eventually, you're gonna get tired of your craft because people get motivated when they're making money.
Yep.
But imagine going live every night and drinking, and live every night and drinking. Eventually, if you're not making no money, you're gonna have a wife, you're gonna have a girlfriend, you're gonna have a mom telling you, "Listen, come on, you gotta bring bread. You gotta bring bread to the house."
Yeah, I mean, no, absolutely, absolutely. You know, I shout out all the DJs and promoters that are you know, like if you're trying really to get this shit popping off, start thinking out of the box right now. Start thinking of ways for you to make money right now and monetize this shit. You know, not just be on the live DJing for free or whatever. Like, just try to figure out a way to monetize that. So, but yo, it was a great talk, my nigga.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. We gotta do it again.
Share it.
I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna put it on my story, and then we'll talk again soon, bro.
And if any of you guys have other questions, or if you guys want, you know, you can always DM me, Eddy G1. So it's, you know, EDDYG1, not the regular way you spell Eddie.
Yeah.
And listen, and I pray for everybody that's going through hard times. I really hope that everybody, you know, gets out of this shit. You know, it's not, again, we're gonna see different things happening here. It's not just the businesses going through hard times. I know a lot of people right now are also going through hard times, and all I say, man, like I pray for everybody, man. Like, you know, this is gonna be a challenge, but
yeah, I know we're gonna get through this, man. I just we all have to work together, whatever. You know, bro. Like before I get off, like I just want to say, bro, I have a lot of respect for you. You know, you and I have done a lot of shit together.
A lot of stuff.
We haven't seen eye to eye always, you know, but one thing that I've always learned from you is resilience, right? Like, you're a guy that you constantly don't give up, you know. And
you can't.
One thing that I look at you, and I look at, you know, and you're a person that constantly is on that upward path, no matter what happens, right? In the face of adversity, you're a person that, like, even now, I'm like, that nigga's gonna come up with some shit, and people are gonna be like, oh shit, you know. So even the haters who might say, oh well, no, he's fucking done this, that, and the third, whatever they're saying.
Listen, the good thing
in you feel
listen,
me? Because I've seen those phases of you.
Listen, Frikkiao, listen, you know what's the beauty about everything that's happening right now is that this is not the first time it happened to me.
Yeah.
So I already prepared myself, my properties, and my everything for this scenario. We taken money, we put it aside, we have money saved. If this shit doesn't bounce back for another year, we have mortgage money for another year.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I got my pizzeria. The pizzeria is still generating, is making some money, so it's keeping the light bills and everything under control. I don't need to be rich from that. I ain't going nowhere. My girl's home cooking. She makes great meals. We're having a great time. And at the end of the day, it's all, the reason why I sit today and I'm not going crazy here is because I have already prepared myself to do stuff like this. My properties are fully paid off. At a worst case scenario, I could always get a loan on the bank and take out $1 million to hold myself for another year or two. You see, I don't need to stress for that. But that's why I'm telling people, when you guys come back, please stop being stupid. Stop spending money on the stupid shit, on the expensive clothes. Listen, you know what? Let's build a new trend. Maybe let's start buying shit that is not expensive and looking good in it. Yep. You know what? This is the time where people needs to grow the fuck up. If you are still thinking about the Gucci, all that shit, you know what? Gucci ain't writing you a fucking check to go buy some food right now.
Word up.
You know, that fucking $1,000 or that fucking, $2,000, $5,000 purse that you got ain't gonna go to the supermarket and bring you a fucking bag of food. Yep. So you know what? Right now, you know what you are? You're broke and famous.
Facts.
So what's the point? I don't want to be broke and famous. Listen, bro, Foot Locker, $5, $10, whatever that shit costs me. I don't need to prove nothing to nobody. And if tomorrow my expenses are too high, I have a Lambo, I'll give that motherfucker back. My apartment is too expensive for me because money's not coming in. I'll give that shit back. But guess what? When this shit bounces back, I'll buy that shit back.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is. Don't ever be ashamed to say, "Oh my God, like I can't let people see me not doing good." You know what? Yeah. If you are worried about what people are thinking about you right now, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, we live in a world of perception. Like social media is all about perception.
Everything. Listen, let's look at the average music video. Motherfuckers in private planes and in car. Listen, how many times on a regular basis, yo, can I borrow your car for a video? Can I do this? Listen, stop trying to show somebody you're not. Why don't you do a fucking music video sitting on the sidewalk, talking to your boy? You don't have to go out of your way to try to look rich. If you're not rich, stop trying to look rich because you're gonna be broker trying to look rich.
Yeah. Rich
people, if you go back and you look at the people that are making real money, they're wearing a regular white T-shirt, some bullshit ass cheap jeans from Target.
Look at the owner of Facebook. He wears a fucking gray tee and jeans every day.
You know why? Because he doesn't want to have to worry about what I'm going to wear tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's it. So guys, this new world that everybody's going to start living in. Again, I know everybody likes good things, but everything has to be at its right time. Right now, this is not the time for that. Yeah. If you got the $1,200 check and you went out and bought yourself something, or you went and if you don't have your finances straight and you don't got a steady income, you're being very stupid right now.
Yeah, your money needs to work for you, not you work for it.
But remember, I have a saying in Spanish: "El vivo vive del bobo." So you know what's gonna happen? All these motherfuckers that are doing stupid shit and they're gonna lose everything. You know who's gonna? And I tell you because everything, every time I'm about to open up a club or do something, I go to auctions, bro. I have my barcode kitchen. I could probably rate it right now if I was to buy everything brand new. It would have cost me over $100,000. I did it with $15,000. That's bar at barcode. That bar, oak wood with granite and everything, it probably would have cost me to build it from scratch, maybe between $45,000 and $50,000. I bought it from a failing business for $800.
That's fucking crazy.
So you know what? El vivo vive del bobo. Your stupidity is going to be my success. Because when you went and bought something for all that money, and even when you have luxuries and that stuff, when you lose it, the bank, they take it away from you. They sell it for whatever they could get.
Yeah.
And then whatever money they didn't collect is going to go on you, and they're going to collect it. The banks are never going to lose. So, bro, stop being stupid, people. Spend your money right.
Yeah. All right, my brother. It was a great talk. I appreciate you doing this. I saw your post this morning. I'm like, yo, we need to get on a fucking live.
Bro, whenever you want, and anybody who wants to talk about anything, let's do it. Listen, right now everybody got free time.
Yeah.
And this industry ain't gonna do nothing. So, and if you guys want to get together and start brainstorming about what I talked earlier about creating the pay-per-view for shit and stuff like that, I'm all ears. I got the venues, I got the locations, we got internet in all the places with a high-speed internet. If you guys want to come in, we'll set something up. Listen, let's do a try run. What you got to lose?
Yeah.
You ain't got shit to lose.
Word up.
All right, people. God bless, man. Be safe.
My brother, thank you very much. I'm gonna share that. I'm gonna put this on my story. All right.
Yeah, I want to see it. Because there's too many comments. I haven't even had time to read.
Right,
lo bueno y lo malo. Fuck it. Take it.
Stay safe, bro, and God bless, bro. Like I said to you before, bro. Like I have utmost respect for you, and
likewise, brother. Likewise.
And listen, and we had a great relationship, and we've maintained that relationship throughout the years, and I believe in you. When I look at this shit, I look at you and I think about you. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna fucking figure it out, because there's only a handful of people who I feel that way about, and you're one of them. So
thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this for me.
Listen, my goal is to get out of this shit, and as many people as I could bring along and help out and grow with them, I'm down, bro.
Yeah.
I don't wish nothing negative upon anybody, because you know what, I've been through hard times, and nobody, unless you're in that boat, you're not gonna know how difficult it is. And I feel everybody's pain right now.
Yeah.
So let's just, as a community that we are, and this industry is a community, we got to think outside the box, and let's make things happen, man.
Yep.
Rock out with your interview. I'll be viewing you later on.
All right, brother. Thank you, bro.
Hágale, people. God bless, people.
Yes, papi.
Pórtese
All
mal
right,
para que la pasen bueno.
Colores. Yo te como sin vid, a capela, suave que la noche espera.